Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Tez.
Good morning, DJ Envy. Good morning, Charlamagne the God.
Peace, Ted.
Now, let's start off with some quick sports. Now, John Morant, he plays for the Grizzlies. He has to undergo a season-ending surgery. That's because of a shoulder injury that happened in practice. I didn't hear that. I heard about it for the first time this morning.
Yeah, that sucks, man. The fact that he just came back. He only played 9 games. Had the Grizzlies playing a lot better basketball than they've been playing all season. But I will say this.
It's exciting again, too.
If John Morant stays focused, they say he's supposed to come back completely healthy next year. MVP. John Morant will be the MVP of the league next year.
I can see that. Now, Draymond Green talks about him coming back. He talks about after the suspension, he wanted to retire, but it was actually the commissioner that talked him out of it.
I had a conversation with Adam Silver, commissioner of our league. I just told him, Adam, it's too much for me. It's all becoming too much for me, and I'm going to retire. And Adam said, you're making a very rash decision, and I won't let you do that. And I'm like, no, Adam, not really sure it's a rash decision. It's just all too much. We had a long, great conversation, very helpful to me. Very thankful to play in a league with a commissioner like Adam, who's more about helping you than hurting you, or helping you than punishing you, or, he's more about the players. And so I'm very lucky to have, or to be in a position to be under the guidance of an Adam Silver.
Yeah, you can't retire when you're the MVG. The most valuable goon.
The
game needs Draymond Green. The game needs villains. It needs bad guys. Who else they gonna be mad at? They need people to point the finger at. Draymond can't go yet. Dropping the clues bombs with Draymond Green.
But I do think it's dope that Adam Silver had a conversation with him instead of punishing him and making him feel a certain way and encouraging him to be
better.
They
definitely punished him. They suspended him indefinitely.
Yeah.
So he missed how many games did he miss? 12 or
9.
Something like that? No,
I think
it was more than
9
9.
games,
It was 12, I think. It's definitely double digits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about this explosion at this hotel. 21 injuries?
Yeah, 21 injuries. Let's go to NBC DFW for the report.
Got the police riding on the wrong side of the road.
Chaos in downtown Fort Worth.
Damn!
Dust and debris filled the air, the injured treated on street corners, moments after a blast at the Sandman Signature Hotel.
And I just heard a loud boom.
Adam Woods works as a valet nearby. He recorded video of first responders running to the scene and police helping a woman in distress.
I didn't know what was going on. I was just so confused myself. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Officials say 21 people were injured, 1 critically.
We have not made 100% determination, but we wanted to make it clear that this was some type of gas explosion.
Man, what's going on, man? Why? Why is a hotel just randomly blowing up in Fort Worth?
Right. And they're still developing that. And just, the folks know as they watch the story throughout the day, this was just the report, as of last night with that person being critically injured. Hopefully that won't, turn any worse than what it is. But thankfully, people were not injured. Just, for something to randomly blow up. I think first thing, Charlamagne, a lot of people were thinking about dang, is this a terrorist attack? Is there something going on? Because it's been, whether people want to admit this or not, it has been high alerts, around the country since the war started. So I was glad that they confirmed that it wasn't anything they believe is malicious at this particular time, that it is just, some type of gas misfunction. And so they said they'll continue updating that story and giving us developments, as they do that investigation. But thankfully, no one was hurt really, really bad. Anybody died. So,
yeah, I don't know if it's, an uptick in gas explosions or, that's what just be coming across your feed sometime on social media. But when you ever see those random house explosions, when houses just explode,
catch on fire.
Not even just catch on fire, like explode, like just randomly explode. And it's like, it feels like that happened with this hotel. And I'm like, well, what's going on with was it gas leaks? Like, what is it?
They got really nervous as well because they said they wanted to turn off the gas, I guess, in the surrounding area, but it would have kicked the generators off. And kicking the generators off, also, if there's still been some type of gas leak or something like that, it could have been even worse. Wow. So just a real scary moment for those in Fort Worth. But thankfully, all at least there were no fatalities with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just want to send healing energy too to a family out in Queens, New York, the Jackson family. I heard on the way in, their house caught on fire. And I guess, the son ran out. The son is a 60-year-old man. He ran out the house. His mother was living with him. He ran back in to get his mother. His mother was 80 years old. He ran back in on the second floor, and they didn't make it out. The mother or the son didn't make it out. So
that's horrible.
I just want to send healing energy to that family and the Jackson family out in Queens. They said that there's been 3 generations of family members that actually lived in that house. So again, rest in peace and sending healing energy to the family out in Queens, New York.
My God. Jesus.
All right. Well, thank you, Tez. That is front page news. We'll see in a little bit. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Tez.
Good morning, DJ Envy. Good morning, Charlamagne the Guy.
Peace, Ted.
All right. Well, let's just start off with some quick sports. Ja Morant, he got injured in practice. He has to undergo season-ending surgery on his shoulder, so he'll be out for the rest of the season.
Salute to my South Carolina brethren, Ja Morant. He only played 9 games this year because, he was coming back from that suspension. But I'm telling you, Ja comes back healthy next year. I predict Ja Morant wins the MVP.
And also, congratulations to Michigan. They beat Washington last night 34-13. They have a 15-0 record, so congratulations again to Michigan. All right, now, where we starting? You want to start with Biden?
Yeah, let's start with Biden. Biden was interrupted yesterday with protesters while he was making a pitch to black voters in Charleston. Now, before we get into the interruption with the protesters, again, he was at the historic black church in Charleston where the 9 people were killed in a racially motivated shooting in 2015. So before I play...
Emmanuel AME.
Emmanuel AME. Before we get into that, take a listen on the reason why he was there in the first place, in addition to, paying homage to those victims.
The president's visit comes as his support among black voters is slipping. In 2020, he carried 92% of that group, but a recent NBC News poll shows just 61% would now choose him over a Republican.
Do you think that the Biden administration is taking the black vote for granted?
Yes, his staff is.
Fletcher Smith worked with the Biden campaign in 2020. Now he says he's very concerned about black voters staying home this November.
That administration looks like they don't want the black vote. I mean, you got to speak to the black people.
Now, before we unpack that, because I definitely want to circle back to that, during the speech, he was interrupted by ceasefire protesters. Take a listen to that.
Without light, there's no path from this darkness.
If you really care about the lives lost here, you should honor the lives lost and call for a ceasefire in Palestine. Ceasefire! Ceasefire!
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. I understand their passion, and I've been quietly working with the Israeli government to get them to reduce and significantly get out of Gaza, using all that I can to do that.
Now, if you could not make out what she said, if you really care about the lives lost here, talking about Charleston, she said you would honor the lives lost and call for a ceasefire in Palestine. So that was interrupted during his speech. He was making a pitch to black voters because obviously, as you heard on the report, people believe that he is in trouble with the black vote. And just want to point out that President Obama also recently met with President Biden, saying that he also is concerned about the campaign strategy and believes that instead of his campaign staff being in the White House, they should be on the ground actually campaigning and organizing, which is something that has been being said many times. You have certainly said it, Charlamagne, for sure. So now you're hearing that from all around with how they should really be out talking to these voters, particularly black voters. And President Biden said, during that speech yesterday that he is aware that South Carolina made it possible for him to become president. And he said he owed black voters, which he said that initially the first time around.
Yeah, and OG Jim Clyburn. He had OG Jim Clyburn sitting behind him. And I know President Biden chose Emmanuel AME because it's a historic landmark in my birthplace of Charleston, South Carolina, a black church founded by Denmark Vesey, the tragic shooting that happened at Emmanuel AME. But I also wonder if he chose that location because he thought it would keep people from doing exactly what they did, which is protest him yesterday. I wonder if he thought, people aren't going to do this in the church. People aren't going to do this people aren't going to do this because of the tragic situation that happened here. I wonder if he chose that location to try to keep people from doing exactly what they did yesterday. But they did it anyway.
Yeah.
They sure did. So that was the reason that didn't work.
Nope.
Because they definitely showed up and made it known. And so it's showing that there's a real problem, going on. And again, folks, every time people are pointing out a problem and just saying, again, an analysis is simply telling you what the weather is. You don't have to like that it's hot outside, but it's hot outside. The reality is there is a problem when you look at all of the coalition that was previously behind Joe Biden. If you talk about black voters, if you talk about young voters, if you talk about those who are very committed to stopping this war, the progressive movement. So several different pockets of the coalition have a problem. And yesterday was an example that they showed up in the church to make it known.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting with Biden, just like you said, like they're focusing on him losing support for black voters when the reality is, from recent polls that we've all seen, he's losing support amongst all voters, like the youth, independents. So I wonder what the strategy is to get everybody energized. Maybe they feel if they can get black people energized, it will trickle over to everyone else. I don't know. Maybe.
But they're expecting black people to be able to carry it for everybody else, to be quite honest. And even your good brother, Bakari Sellers, was talking about that yesterday. He even said flat out, yesterday on CNN that black people are tired of being, and I'm paraphrasing, being the mule, for the Democrat Party. He even talked about how black women are particularly tired and that they just have not done a good job messaging. But again, Charlamagne, you said this how many times before? And every time somebody says it, oh, you hate, no, you helping Trump. It's not about helping Trump. It's about saying that there is a problem. And now here you are, less than 9 months before it's time to vote in the general election. And now the clock is ticking. And some would even argue that the time has ran out for you to make any substantial changes.
Tez, nobody listens to me. I have a lisp. I am just a hip-hop radio personality. Okay, nobody's going to listen to me when it comes to stuff like that. But I will say this. I know polls are just a forecast, but the reason there should be extreme panic in the Biden campaign is because you just have to simply look across the aisle at his competition. A man who has 91 criminal charges, 4 indictments, 2 impeachments, and forget about what he's talking about doing in regards to being a dictator. Look at the things he's already done. An attempted coup in his country. He's put people on the Supreme Court that have taken away rights like Roe v. Wade, gutted affirmative action in colleges. And this is the guy you getting your ass handed to? Getting your ass kicked by in the polls? That guy? Come on.
And poll after poll after poll after poll.
That's the person America's choosing. There should be reason for alarm, yo.
Right. And just point this out as well. Donald Trump never stopped campaigning. Never. This man has had a rally consistently every month for 4 years straight. When everybody thought he got off Twitter and, we're not on Twitter anymore and, we don't have to hear about him anymore. They have consistently ran a campaign year around for 4 years straight. So here you are now, 9 months before it's time to get, and the campaign is not even on the ground, not even knocking on doors. I've worked on city commissioner races that go out 2 years before you go to election day. So it's just very disturbing why the administration thinks that it is more important to be inside the White House and not on the ground. This is just basic campaign 101. It's just disturbing and it makes no sense. So when you have people like President Obama even saying, hey, it's a problem. Yesterday, Michelle Obama said that it's a problem. George, was it Carville? He also said it's a problem. He ride hard for Democrats. So we have seen this time and time again, those who consistently, rock with the Democrats saying that it is a problem. It's not just Charlamagne or Teslin. It is people who have worked on these campaigns that have admitted that it is a problem. So are they going to move or not?
Yeah, I don't know if Donald Trump was campaigning as much as he's been complaining, but to your point, he's definitely been outside.
He's been on the press.
He's been outside.
He's been in the press.
He's been outside. I haven't heard him talk about much legislation or policy, but he's definitely been outside.
Well, he's been talking about immigration. He's been talking about inflation. He's been talking about
I think
the
more
economy.
recently, he's pivoted to that. Before it was just look what they're doing to me. What they're doing to me is what they want to do to you.
Sure.
They're taking
but when
me
I'm
out
saying campaign style. Yeah, I'm saying literally having rallies, out touching and engaging.
Yeah, he's been outside.
Hands.
Yeah, he's definitely been outside.
Yeah, that matters.
All right. Well, that is front page news. Thank you, Tez.
Absolutely.
And make sure you follow Teslin Figaro on all social media platforms at Teslin Figaro and subscribe to the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio Podcast Network.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.